Hello again. Let's continue our tutorial now by extending our game of breakout to include some bricks which are going to get broken when the ball hits them. If you went through the previous tutorial correctly, you'll know that when you run the application we have a ball that bounces around, bounces off the walls of our game. So we'll start that game again, and let's add some new objects. In this case, I'll right click on object, I'll add an object, and the object that I want to add is a brick. Again, let's associate a sprite with that brick, so I'm going to click new sprite. As always, we'll call it SPR underbar brick, and let's see if we can find a suitable sprite for our brick. In this case, I'm going to go to the breakout folder, and we have several stones here. Let's see if we can find one that looks like it might be reasonable. Maybe a yellow one. Stone5.gif looks as though it might possibly do. So we'll open that, and we'll notice that that sprite, as it comes to us, has a width of 32 pixels and a height of 16 pixels. We'd like to change that a little bit because in the case of our game, our grid is 24 by 24. So let's edit that sprite, let's transform it, let's stretch it, and let's give it a width of 48 pixels, and we'll make the height 24 pixels, so it should fit nicely on our 24 by 24 grid. We'll set the quality to excellent, we'll click on OK, and we'll save that sprite. Again, we don't want the black background to show underneath the bricks, so we'll leave the transparent property checked, and we'll click on OK. At this point, we have a brick object. It's associated with the brick sprite. Once again, it's not moving anywhere, so we'll set it as solid. It's not a moving object. It's a solid brick. We'll check the solid box. Of course, we want the bricks to be visible. We'll click on OK. And now what we need to do is add a set of bricks to the room with the left mouse, so we'll do that. I'll just click some bricks into the room here. Let's see. That's probably, whoops, wrong place. Put some here, let's put another row here. And finally, let's put another row here. Okay. So now if we play the game, if I run it, then what happens here is the ball bounces around, but as you can see there's no interaction between the ball and the bricks. What we'd like to have happen is for the ball to bounce off the bricks, and we'd like the bricks to be destroyed when the collision occurs. So double click on the ball object, and let's program what should happen when a ball, I'm going to add an event here, a collision event, when the ball collides with a brick. So I have a collision event from the ball when the ball collides with the brick. And here are the actions that we'd like to occur. First thing that happens is we'd like the ball to bounce off the brick. So the brick was solid, so we'd like the ball to bounce off the brick. And the second thing that traditionally happens in a game of breakout is the brick is destroyed. So let's go here and click on the next folder on Object Properties, which is Main 1. The Movement tab is here, but I'm going to click on the second tab, Main 2. As you can see, there are several tabs of tools that are available to us, but let's go to this one here, Main 1. And let's go see if we can find, let's find the right one here, Destroy the Instance. I'm going to select Destroy the Instance. I'm going to drag it over here. And at this point, the question arises, what object do we want destroyed? Now, the object that I'm working with is the ball. So the way GameMaker works, self here means that we would destroy the ball. But what we want to do, of course, is destroy the object with which the ball collided. In this case, that's the brick. So at this point, I'm going to click Other. Other is the object with which the ball collided. So I'm going to click Other here for Destroy the Instance. That's the instance I want destroyed, not the ball, but the brick. I'm going to click on OK. And without any further ado, let's run that and see what effects we get. Okay, so the ball's bouncing around. It hits some of the bricks. The bricks wind up. vanishing, the ball bounces off the brick, and when it does that, the brick winds up vanishing. Okay, well, our game looks quite good so far. There's probably a few more things we want to do while we have it in this situation. One of the things we might want to do is we get a score every time the brick occurs. So let's go to the score tab, which is the 5th tab down here. Let's take the score, let's set the score, and let's assume that we want a score of 10 points every time we hit one of these bricks. Now we need to check the relative button because we don't want to set the score to 10 every time we hit a brick. We want to increment the score by 10 points relative to what it was before. So we need to check the relative button. We want to change it by 10 points every time a brick gets hit. Okay, let's click the OK button there. So now 3 things happen when we collide with a brick. We bounce against the brick, we destroy the brick, and we increment the score by 10. Let's try playing our game again. So now the score goes 10, 20, 30, and as you can see, every time we hit a brick, the score goes up by 1. Okay, well, we'll leave it there for this session, and then what we need to do now is add a paddle, and in the next tutorial I'll add a paddle to the game so that the user can interact with the ball and make a more traditional version of the game of Breakout. Thank you.